If you were just small red today on your P&L, consider that a W because this is the price action that beats up the most traders, giving back the previous day's good trading sessions and all the profits that we had. So I definitely want to go over all the lessons we had because it was a great stream on Randy holding through his trade, Austin taking a couple of trades, and price action and VWAP is king. So let's start off here on ES. You'll see there's a beautiful setup right out of the gate. We don't want to chase the first break of open range high. That's the horizontal levels here. And again, I'm using the VWAP indicator down here as well. That's painting all these VWAPs for me. So if you want access to that, it's down below in the description. But on ASPEX TV and Futures 2.0, my full strategy would say do not chase this first break of opening range high. Never really a great price. It's very inconsistent. It's probably trying to trap you. So we're not going to chase that. But then it comes back down to the New York VWAP. Okay, here's our retest. Now I can get a nice lower price and trade back to that previous structure. If this were to move higher, you'd probably ask yourself, yeah, why am I not in that long? Because it's clearly, go back to pre-market here, clearly buyers in control. All above this daily VWAP. Now we're all above New York VWAP from the open. If this were to move higher, would I be upset that I'm not in it? That's a sign if you should be in the trade or not. If it was a short here, if this were to move lower without me, would I be upset? Not really. That's not my best setup. That's not normally what it looks like. Fighting that daily VWAP, fighting all the structure to the left. So I'm going to leave that be. Whether it won or not, I don't care. That's not the setup for me to be in. But let's go over this long. Stop loss should never be a current structure. Current being the most current structure to the left, right? Previous would even be maybe back here in the middle of the range at these higher lows. But for these mid-range entries, it should always be at the other side of the range, aka open range low. Until it makes a new low a day, I could see the buyers still forming higher lows, keep me in this long. So it does technically survive ever so slightly, but that comes back to your entry price. So what are you going to do at this moment when it gets back up here? Now, a couple people on stream were still long, which is great. A couple people bailed on it, which then leads them to having to feel the need to jump back in here at the same price and maybe lose again. Or if not, at least take on immediate stress of saying, oh my God, why did I enter that again? We don't want that to happen to you. The reason I don't love the add-in, you're either still in it from the jump or you're letting this go by because now you look at the slope of the VWAP. When you're getting in long, buyers are sloping it up. Now it's sloping down, and you can just look back at all your previous winners. How many times does it go into this much drawdown with a down sloping VWAP, still inside the range, and you still come out a winner? Not never, but just not the most consistent. That this probably wouldn't be the trade to add into. Saying, oh, now I really like this, right? If you're still long back here, I wouldn't play with the add-ins on this. And if you took the loss, I might not even add back in to this just because there's not new information saying, okay, now this looks good again. But if you did, you did. You see it swept right outside the open range low. Randy had a really good stop loss because he sees this overnight daily VWAP. Give it room to retest that. And it does. Buyers never give up full control. It's still holding above this overnight VWAP in black. And it just takes time to get back above this New York VWAP. But no way to cut it. It's choppy. We can go look at yesterday real quick. And you'll see, here's the long out of the gate. First break of open range high, like I said. Don't touch it. Comes back down to the New York VWAP. Actually, all three VWAPs. Today it was just one. And it moves back higher. All right, beautiful. Take that to today. New high. Pull back to VWAP. Let's go higher. Well, it eventually did. But boy, you got all this noise first. So, not that it's a bad trade. But yesterday and Monday were easier. So if you made money on those days like we did on stream, great. If you didn't make money today, that's okay. As long as you didn't lose a lot of money and give back Mondays and Tuesdays gains. I really think that's all it comes down to. If you took a little slap in the face, you can come back in tomorrow. Hopefully it's cleaner price action and you find another win. But if you force trades in this price action, you double down, you switch your positions, you hug your stop losses, things that just weren't happening on Monday and Tuesday, we're just going to always be giving back our great days all in one bad session. So that's why I'm saying if you are up $1,000 on Monday and Tuesday and you lost $300 today, $400, that's fine. Come back in Thursday, Friday, make another $1,000. We're still taking steps in the right direction and building momentum. If it's always these ugly sideways choppy days, sending us back to square one and buying a new account, we're never going to get anywhere. Now you can look back here. I would suggest you all mark up all these ideas. The first long, the potential long again, or add in there. And then you want to long it here. Well, it's the same thing as buying it over here, and we didn't do that. Could be a lower high, but maybe this fourth one, Obviously, cherry picking, that is the time it moves higher. But notice how this time it has no new push lower. It actually builds a higher low on the bottom from back here, right? So other than that, it was moving a little bit lower. Now it's starting to turn a little bit bullish on the bottom. This could be the time it turns back around, right? Once it gets back above. So can't hate that. I'd mark them all up, saying that's the time it left the station and buyers finally stepped back into control. And you can see it just drifts higher the rest of the afternoon. So now you look back on the end of the day, when you really condense it all, you're like, oh, I lost all my capital and risk and trades in here. And then I give it more time outside the range. It's clearly buyers in control. Why did I flip flop so many times in this square when nothing was happening? No new high, no new low, chop. So as soon as you can identify that and recognize this is not where I do well, walk away. Save yourself a bunch of money. I don't care if you miss out on a potential win. You'll save yourself so much more money in the long run than forcing things on something that's not really there. You go to NQ today, different story. Way bullish out of the gate, never even looking bearish. I mean, you can see the overnight view up in black, never retested, not even close. But buyers in control, pre-market into the open. Same thing, retest to New York VWAP here. If you get price close to there, you can maybe scalp it up, but you can see no new high was made from that 10 a.m. high in the first 30 minutes. A new high wasn't made until 2 o'clock. So very slow. Moving like ES today, but this is on NQ. But was it ever sellers is the question. No. I mean, you got a little bit of inducement here of trying to trap some sellers, thinking we're going back to VWAP. Get smoked. We're right back above VWAP and now going higher. So that could definitely want to help keep you long bias on your ES if you're playing within all that chop. Do you think we're going to come lower with NQ holding New York VWAP, still building higher lows? Probably not. So I like to use it that way of saying, okay, down here, sellers are still, or buyers actually today, are clearly in control. So if ES can just take back its New York VWAP, I think they're going to finally be able to run higher. Now today was very choppy, but shorts were just never really the play unless they were very quick and scalpy, price close to VWAP, no matter what direction you're trading, right? Because even if you're long up here, you could definitely lose if you had a stop loss at current structure. If you shorted it here, I don't know if you're doing that, so we're not going to go over that. But as long as price is close to VWAP. And what I thought was interesting was this initial balance high up here, the high and low from 9:30 to 10:30. It still hadn't taken a side. So you know you're probably going to break out of it, so that's why this isn't too surprising that finally it crept higher at 2 o'clock. That all of this grind higher still hadn't broken it. So you could probably maybe try to capitalize on that and go get that break, but to each their own. But definitely a great lesson today. Like I said, it happens to everybody. You waste your risk early in the morning, over trading, not seeing an idea through, regretting it immediately. Slow yourself down. Let's go look at, like I said, this was yesterday. Clean, higher highs, higher lows out of the gate. Like I said, the slope of VWAP, the fact that we're outside the opening range at 10:15 immediately. Trend is here, buyers are here. Let's move. Let's take some clean trades. Today, you thought it was, right? You can't blame anyone that longed it here. That's a great setup. But if things got ugly from here, because things were ugly from here price action wise, those are things you need to hone in on. I'm saying, do I have a trade limit? Am I over risking too many trades today, right? All within nothing. This doesn't look like my best setup. There's no new information. I'm really good on this account so far. I don't want to give back Mondays and Tuesdays gains. Let me just walk away. Let me take a break. Maybe I'll check back in later. If it makes a new high, I'll long it. If it makes a new low, maybe we'll short it, right? But just don't waste all your mental capital when nothing's really happening. So hopefully you guys didn't give back a lot of gains. And you could have even potentially walked away green, which would be best case scenario, you know? I'm not saying no one made money today. There were some nice longs if you didn't give up on them. Randy had a nice long. A couple people had some scalps, I think, over here. Whatever the case, as long as you didn't get too beat up, that's the win. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out Stream as well. We're live here every morning. And also the Futures 2.0, like I said, for my VWAP strategy is all on here. It's absolutely free. Just click the link down below. But I appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Stream tomorrow morning.